Good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. It is Chanukah, day one, and is also Erev Shabbos. Parsh veyishev, which doesn't happen too often. The veyishev is Chanukah without miketz, but the candles lit, donuts were good, so it seems kind of normal. So it's an interesting piece to try to tie Hanukkah and the Parsh together. So it's a very interesting piece. Sfas Emes is like 150 pages of Hanukkah. Sfas Emes, it's almost half of the whole book of all the Moadim. Half of it is like Hanukkah. So I got my work cut out for me for the next 7-8 days. But literally the first page has a tie into the Gemara, the Daf Yomi, which is also kind of interesting. How the Daf Yomi Psachim fits in with Hanukkah. Because the question is, how do you do B'dikas Chametz? What are we talking about? Well, fire. Well, candle, not torch. When to do it? And Sfas Emes quotes the Gemara that talks about Chipus mineiros, search from the neiros. Because Hashem, it's fine. He says, Achapesh Yishlayim b'neiros. Hashem is going to search Yishlayim with candles. With candles? So Hashem is going to take candlelight and look at the Averos, the people in Yerushalayim, people in Eretz Yisrael, and with a candle. Is that good? Well, torch is better. No, candle is a little weaker than a torch. Hashem's not going to look for the small Averos, just the big Averos, candlelight. But the first shot of the Gemara is candlelight is best to use at night, because you can actually see the most when it's dark. Candlelight. So just like Hashem's going to be looking in the people of Yerushalayim for Averos to see if the Geula can come. We'll see how many Averos there are. And the best way to search is at nighttime. And Sfas Emes says that's the best time to have Chanukah. The best time, the light is appreciated the most when it's darkest. And unlike the Mishkan, the Beis HaMikdash, you had a menorah, you had the Shekhinah that was open. We don't have that, but we have a ner. Our neshama is inside us, every person, and we're searching. We have to search. It was open miracles, the Beis HaMikdash, open miracle lighting 8 days. We don't have that, but we do believe that this concept of opening up and finding the light and finding the Neros is hidden, but we have to look for it. We have to search for it. And the main, you appreciate something that's hidden the most when it's dark. You can really uncover when it's dark. The light goes a long way. And that's kind of in the darkest time. It's winter. We're in the Galut, and we're in Corona. We're all indoors. It's dark. It's dark times. People are dying. And this is the time to appreciate and to have Amunah in Hashem, to have appreciation for Hashem and the nisim that Hashem does for us and will do for us. And we will see a Yeshua from this. We definitely will see a Yeshua from this. But it's a matter of searching. You got to search for it, which leads me to this parsha, veyishev. Interesting Sfas Emes that really talks about the Avos. It talks about the Gullus and how he compares the Averos to each of the Gullus. That the first is Bavel, which has to do with Avodah Zarah, and Madai, Shvichas Dam, Hashmid La'arog, with Madai and Purim, and Yavan, Gilead Ros, and Malchus Ravi, Lashon Hara Sinas Chinam. Malchus Ravi, the current Gullus is Sinas Chinam and hatred. And Sfas Emes goes on and talks about we have to be attacking this. It's not, and this is ourselves. It's really on ourselves to be attacking this. It's not just the Sfas Emes, but a lot of Musaf Sfarim, including the Kli Yakar, who talks about this is why this Gullus is longer than all the other Gulluses combined, with thousands of years in the current Gullus because of Lashon Hara, as Sinas Chinam. And every time there's something going on with Corona, or there's something on Facebook, and they're doing this and they're not doing this, it's literally one more day and one more further away from seeing Mashiach. That's why I feel. And Sfas Emes goes on and says something very interesting, is first of all, don't ever think for a second that what the Shvatim did was lashon hara. It wasn't sinas chinim. Maybe it was a taste of it or a little piece of it, but it really wasn't a full-fledged avera. And so Hashem says a concept where Hashem will do a fix before it actually happens, as kind of like a preemptive refuah, where the same thing with Shimshon, because Shimshon, Hashofet, Hagibar, was going to be with the Pelishtim and spend most of his life fighting. Hashem had to kind of do a protection before this actually happened, which is why from birth, only time you have this, from birth, he was a Nazir. Usually you make yourself a Nazir, but here he was a Nazir from birth, which doesn't really happen. So it's kind of a protective measure. So Hashem says something that's very interesting, is that as a protection for our current gullus, for Lashon Hara Chinim, Hashem makes a situation that looked like Lashon Hara Chinim, what happened with Yosef and the brothers, as a protection for us down the road, which is kind of an interesting concept, a preemptive measure. So even though it wasn't full-fledged avodah zarah, full-fledged Lashon Hara and Chinim, it has a little bit of a taste of it, so we can actually learn from it and how to get out of this. Have avos for our brothers and hava for each other, and that will get us out of the gullus. And just like when they got together in a couple weeks in Parshat Vayigash, it led to the gullus, but they actually got out of the gullus. We too, with the sinas chinim and lashon hara for thousands of years, this will be a template for what happened then. It'll happen for us, that God willing we'll be able to kind of learn from the avos and learn from the shvatim, that what got us into this mess, the gullus, will get us out of this mess. And hopefully we'll kind of search. That's what we'll do for the next 8 days. We'll kind of search for ways that we can bring shalom to each other, whether it's parties or no parties, presents or no presents, but to call somebody, or to send someone send a thank you or an email, or call someone or send someone a present that maybe wasn't expecting it. And just this little light that we can kind of bring out of ourselves and search for the good in other people and ourselves, especially in these dark times, will hopefully bring this great light of Chanukah, Shabbos, and hopefully we'll see the light of Mashiach. Shabbat Shalom, Chanukah Sameach.